Good morning, a very cold morning, it's about to snow, but I'm out here with Skip and we're going to do a little bit of repair again on the back of the car. Today I'm going to do a little tiny job I've been meaning to do for ages, and that's fix the rear screen's heater element, because I've got several lines that aren't working, in fact 6 lines that aren't working. And I'm just going to go through the process of how to fix this because it's actually quite easy. So what we're going to do first, identify which ones are bad, and then we're going to isolate them and we're going to repair them. So you need a few tools for this. The first tool you need is some kind of probe. So this is an electrical probe, and this one's got a little red light or green light depending on which way the voltage is going, and it shows you how much voltage is going through it. It's a really cheap one, you know, eBay special, but it does a really good job. It's very easy to use. Some insulating tape. This is so that we can isolate the lines. A pair of scissors to cut the tape, and some electrical connector repair kit, and this is a Granville kit, and it basically looks like metallic nail varnish. This one needs a good shake up in a minute. So yeah, that's what you need to repair the actual lines, and this will allow the connection to be re-established. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the car on, and I'm going to turn on the power to the heated screen. I'm going to show you how to identify where your brakes are in your rear screen. Okay, so as you can see, the light's on now, so this means our heated rear screen is active. And I'm going to take my probe, and with the earthing clip, I'm just going to connect it on here so that I'm earthed to the vehicle. And then I'm going to take the probe and I'm going to go to one of the lines that I know is good, and I'm going to touch the probe against the line, and you'll notice as I touch it, I get a red dot, sorry, and then the voltage comes up. Now, with a line that's got a break in it, you'll touch against it like I am here. Obviously nothing comes up on the probe. If I go back down this line though, until the point that I go past a break, it'll come back on, and then it's just a case of moving forward, and there it stops. And you can actually see on this one there's a little blow mark where it's broken. So what we need to do next is to get our blue tape, cut 2 strips, and like I've done here, tape it either side of that line so that you've just got a little tiny gap, and that's what we're going to paint the electrical connecting paint to. So that's the next part of this job. Going to give this a really good shake. I've had this in my pocket because it's a good idea to keep this at room temperature, otherwise it starts to get a bit thick. The thing to watch out with these type of kits is that on the back, normally there's a sticker that tells you the use by date, and I've had the problem with this already. I bought a kit and it was like using metallic bogies. It was no good for painting whatsoever, so make sure if there is a use by date that it is in date, otherwise this will have vaporized all the goodness that's inside it and it won't be usable. So the next thing I've done is I've turned the heated screen off because I don't want any voltage going through it while I'm doing this process. And I'm going to take my paintbrush, which is now thoroughly mixed, and I'm going to simply paint over the line where the brake is, making sure I get it on nice and thick. I'm actually going to go a little bit further each way of the brake so that I know I've covered it. Going to give this another shake because actually this morning it's a bit colder out. It's about to snow, so although it's been in my pocket, it's cooling down really quickly. That's better. So making sure you get a good thick amount into that line that you've created with the tape. So one little thing of note, when I tested my heated screen, I found that the earth wire, which comes out on this car, the left hand side of the screen, and goes under here, it runs down the inside of this post and then in the little well just above the wheel there's an earthing point. That was really not receiving the voltage that it should do, so it had high resistance due to being work hardened. You know, the heated screen takes a lot to get it to function, you know, and the resistance built up in that wire was actually causing it to not work on the lines that it already had working. So what I did was I simply pulled down gently. I found this wire, I pulled it out and took the bullet connector off after I tested it. I then got a new piece of wire, connected the bullet connector to it, and then gently pulled from this end, pulling the new wire down as I pulled the old wire out to put it into place, and then re-earthed it in a new position. Actually, I've earthed it slightly further down just by the boot latch, on a nice clear earth, so that I made sure that I was getting a good connection. It's really easy to replace. As I said, just one bullet connector, and I used one ring connector as well, and a good piece of new wiring, and now it's receiving the right voltage and there's no resistance in it. So hopefully once we've repaired all of these lines, with the resistance removed, we should get a fully working heated rear screen. Just a word about repairing this: once you've put your first coat on, you leave it half an hour, depending on how cold or warm your day is, for it to set, and then you can put a second coat on, which just builds up the thickness and therefore, you know, connects those two broken pieces of the heated rear screen together so that the electricity can pass through it properly. Let that dry for half an hour. Actually, they say not to use your heated screen for 5 hours after you've put this in place, so you know, leave it overnight, and then the next day hopefully you'll have repaired the problem by removing the tape, by removing masking tape, and you'll be left with a nice clean line for your heated rear screen. I hope this helps. More videos to come on the MGB GT. Thanks very much.